Funny friends, my funny friends, my funky friends now. My funny friends, my funny friends, my funky friends now.
Starring Drew Harrison and Will Abeles.
Welcome back to another episode. I'll never say rendition again because of Blair Postman. Another
mess you up in the head, bro.
Another episode of My Funny Friends. I'm Will Abeles. I'm here with my lovely co-host, my confidant, Drew Harrison. Hi, Drew.
It's so good to see Blair Postman live rent-free in your head every
Forever.
time we start this podcast.
Forever. You think of all the things of 2020 that were triggering, Blair Postman's still number one.
Well, I'm happy to be here, man. I've got a great story from last night at the wedding, but I also want our guests' feedback on this story because it's just too good. So I'm so happy to bring in this guest this week. We had a blast in Wilmington every time he came down, whether he was headlining or featuring for his boy Tone Bell. But I'm sure we'll get into that. It's Rojo Perez. Rojo, what's up, buddy?
Ooh, what up, guys?
How you doing, man?
Nice to see y'all. Nice to see everybody in their caves.
Yeah, dude. Our little spots.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about this story.
Okay, so we're at Troy Coleman's wedding, former Wilmington comic. He's in Atlanta now. I mean, it was a nice reunion of a bunch of North Carolina comics that have moved on to other places. So it was just good to see everybody. We had a great time. They had watermelon margaritas. I drank like 20 of them. It was great.
Delicious.
They had a taco truck. You know, you could just walk up and get a taco whenever you felt like the need to get a taco. I only had 2. I kept it respectful.
Okay.
Because they gave you the biggest
fruit day for you. Yeah, the watermelon really filled them up.
Yeah, I was getting my fruits and veggies, you know what I mean? Because they also gave you the biggest churro you've ever seen in your life with the tacos. So after putting down the 2 tacos and the churro and then the 20 margaritas, I was good to go, you know?
Yeah.
Because they even had a Ben and Jerry's ice cream stand that I didn't even touch. I didn't go near it. I was like, too much today, Drew.
That's good.
Too much today. You've done too
I don't
much.
believe you.
I didn't.
That's great.
Surprisingly, Laura's not here right now, but she could back me up.
That's like trying to holler at a girl out of your league. You're like, I don't need to touch Ben and Jerry. I know where I'm at. I know I'm a churro man. I'm a churro man. That's as far as I go.
But then the night was so nice. And then it was 10:30 when we were supposed to they had a party bus, came and picked us up from the hotel, took us out to this farm, right? Don't have to worry about driving. Don't have to worry about directions. Except for when it's time to go home, the bus now doesn't work.
Perfect.
This guy sat there the whole time, 4 hours, didn't turn the bus around at all. Like, because we're just down a dirt road one way. He just pulled over to one side, let us out, and then just parked there. Didn't take the 4 hours to turn the bus around. Didn't turn the bus on. But for some reason, when it was about time to go, he turns it on, finds out that a belt had fallen off. So we walk up, you know, everyone drunk, ready to go back to the hotel. And this guy's just working on the bus. No updates. Doesn't turn around to see us and be like, oh, hey, guys, by the way, we have some trouble. Nothing. Finally, someone, you know, the drunk hero. Always someone has to, you know,
someone took off their belt.
The white
girl. I can tie this shit up, Bob. Move over.
You see the white girl group converge and determine who's going to be the spokesperson. You know, so they voted for their leader. She goes over and talks to the guy, who now a second person is pulled up in a different car to help him with the motor.
Okay.
So now we got a mechanic and a driver working on this.
And a white woman.
And a white girl, all convenient.
This is the best beginning of a bar joke ever. A mechanic, a driver, and a white woman.
On a dirt road in Georgia. Like, I can't even tell you what town we're in. So after convening for a couple minutes, she turns around. No update, just belts off. He said, go back to the venue. So we go back to the venue. All the vendors are gone. So now there's drunk people at this venue. No way to get home. No booze. no food. They had one bottle of gin that was supposed to make its way around to the 20 people. But one guy, the drunkest guy, just put it in his bag and like walked off. He's like, we're like, I don't even need to drink gin at 10:30 anyway. But they ended up keeping us captive for 2.5 hours. They finally get the bus going. And then now he's got to back out of the road because he didn't turn the bus around. Almost gets stuck. Finally gets us out. We're going up the first hill, the very first hill. It starts sputtering. And he turned the radio up and was like, don't worry about it. And we finally got to the hotel. I don't know how the bus didn't just break down in downtown Atlanta. Like we got on 75. Like,
did you cheer when he got?
Oh yeah, yeah. The guy's name was
like
Jeremy.
like a plane landing cheer.
Yes, we all gave him a standing ovation. You know, because I'm sure my man was having a terrible night too. You know, he's just the driver. He's like, you've got to be kidding me.
I feel so bad for this driver.
Yes,
because then he got to deal with y'all. Then he got to deal with a bunch of drunk people who think they should be somewhere now.
Right? Like, why are we not at the hotel?
Motherfucker, it's a belt. It's not AutoZone. I can't do much with this right now.
Right. Yeah. And then his mechanic, apparently the mechanic wasn't the same company. So like there was a pause where the bus is fixed and we're still not moving. So people are getting antsy. And the groom goes outside to go to the driver, like, what's up, man? And he's like, dude's got my card. What do you want from me? Like the guy was in his car processing the payment before he like moved his car so we could get out. He was like holding us hostage too.
God.
So just kept the layers on this of our night. I was like, good God, man.
That's a good start to their marriage, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A sputtering
problem
bus.
solving immediately.
Yeah.
I'm sure
they kept it together, man. No one lost their mind. Everyone was very civil. I was very impressed with the crew we had. It was good.
I would have been the gin guy. I would have been the gin guy who was like, well, I'm just going to sit in the back of this place by myself and bottle gin until then I'll wake up tomorrow.
Yeah. But yeah, Rojo, I'm so happy to see you, man. It's been forever, you know. Like,
yeah, it's great seeing you guys. I appreciate the invite. This was fun. I'll see y'all next time.
But we always like to start after a massive 20-minute story. We always like to start off with what year and where did you start stand-up comedy?
I was first time on stage, I'd say 2008, give or take.
Okay.
A few months, something like that. And I was in Florida. I was living in Lakeland, Florida. At the time, the meth capital of America.
Oh, baby.
They were real proud of it.
Wow.
Everybody knew that stat.
Ready to drop it at any minute.
Yeah, I went to an open mic in Clearwater at a club called Coco Nuts.
That's the best first time.
Yeah, I went with a buddy of mine. He dragged me. He was already doing mics, a college buddy, and I went. And I had a terrible set, and he won $50 for best set of the night. And it was the quietest car ride I've ever been on. I mean, you would have been like, these two getting divorced.
Yeah.
Like it was that, and like he didn't want to showboat, but he couldn't stop smiling.
Right.
But he just driving, staring forward. It's like when someone gets the directions right. And you're like, I hate you, motherfucker. I hate you got that right.
Waiting for the right time to drop it, but
yeah.
I know I was right.
Is this person still doing comedy?
No, they're a loser. They got married, got a real job, happiness.
See who really won. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he did. I think he did. No.
Quiet Sunday nights where you go, maybe he won.
Yeah, he good. He married. He living in the Bay. He has a real fun job.
Nice.
People pay him to go talk. People. Yeah.
How was it after that first mic? Did you feel like this is what I'm supposed to be doing, or were you like, I don't want to do this ever again?
No, I think the feeling was, this can't be the only time I try. Like,
okay,
I can't go out like that bad at this shit. I was like, so I just started going. I was still in college, so I started like taking nights and driving out to Tampa or drive like anywhere 30, 40 minutes outside of Lakeland. We drive to Orlando, Clearwater, and just like started doing those, started going up at hookah bars, started like doing music mics, poetry mics, just anywhere people would be like, yeah,
Here's
you
a
want to
microphone.
talk? Go ahead.
Your thing. Yeah.
Nice. How was like Orlando open mics and stuff like that? Like you always hear Orlando every now and then pop up as a comedy scene.
Yeah, I mean, back then it wasn't a scene. If
Okay.
it is now, I don't know those Orlando comics a lot. I left very early, so like
Okay.
I would do like, but you know where you go. It's like any smaller town where you go. Oh, I got up 3 times this week. I'm crushing it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fair.
And then you get to New York, and you're like, oh, people getting up 20 times,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they stink, or that you've never heard of them, and they get up this much, and you're like, fuck. Yeah, so it was. There's still a couple comics I remember from down there who were funny, who I still think are working, but I don't. Tampa doesn't really claim me as a local comic because I didn't really know too many of the comics down there.
Gotcha. Got out.
And so how long? So was New York your next step, or how long were you? Okay, so you were doing open mics, and you just went straight for comedy, or just because you wanted to move to New York?
No, I did one move to New York. I'd maybe been doing it for like 7 months, something like that. Graduated, and was just like, if I'm gonna try it, I have no real responsibilities. I don't have a real job yet.
Right.
Let's fucking give it a whirl and see what happens.
Nice.
That's great. So when you get to New York, where like how did you navigate it? You know, coming in as a
I remember there was this site called Bad Slava.
Oh yeah.
This fucking dude, I thought he was doing the Lord's work. This shit was a word, like a word page, and he had a website, and he would religiously update it with every open mic in the city, what time, how to sign up, what the cover was.
Oh my God, yeah.
This fucking dude, I don't think I ever met him, but whoever this man was, this fucking guy was, it was wild.
Great.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I remember going. I got a fun mic story. I've never told. I went to. This was probably maybe second time getting up in New York. At the time, there was a girl I was kind of seeing, who we went to college together, and she happened to get a job in New York.
Okay.
And then I moved up soon after, not for her, but
it just happened.
We were hanging out,
Perfect timing.
We go to this mic at the downstairs of like a taco restaurant, not a bar. This is a taco restaurant, and you in the basement. I bring this girl to this mic. There's about 15 dudes you've never heard of. Never will again. I'm the only one who made it. From that mic that day.
Even that night, yeah. They're all still
the rest of you, you're done.
Obviously, I'm bad. I'll make her sit through this mic. After this dude gets on stage again, a mic. This older dude gets on stage, and I'd already gone up. He starts talking to the girl I'm with.
Oh, of course.
From the stage, like. So you with this dude? He's like, are you with this dude? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, oh man, did you see him go up? This dude just lays into it after
you use your set against you.
The mic's over, and he walks up to her and goes, hey man, when you done with him, give me a call.
No way.
And gives her a card with the number on it.
Oh my God, dude.
Wow.
And it was just like,
welcome to New York.
Welcome to New York comedy. They'll fucking take everything. They will take anything you bring.
Hey, I didn't steal your jokes, but I'm trying to steal your jokes.
But I steal your good. Yeah.
When I first got to New York, I remember like just how, because I think I got there like late 2011, but didn't know anybody. So just like the empty, I remember Bad Slava being like, all right, I'm going to go try this mic or whatever. And just the loneliness of going from Boston where I knew people to here just being like, oh.
How long did he keep that up?
Huh?
How long did he keep that up?
I mean, I would say at least through like
years.
2014, 2015,
Jesus.
2016. I mean, it was up for a long
That's
time.
insane.
And I was looking at it back in 2009.
Yeah.
Jesus, dude.
Yeah,
He was fucking killing it, dude.
How burnout do you think he finally got?
I think eventually he started charging.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I think so.
Eventually he was like, it was a pay for play the mics.
Membership.
You get
thing?
listed on the Bad Slava site. You had to pay.
Amazing.
I was at the mic in the West Village and Bob Dylan walked in.
No way.
Yeah, there were 6 of us at like 4 p.m. mic at, man, I don't even remember what, this club's not around. It might have been Boston at the time. I forget what club.
Yeah.
And it was like a 1 row and then a back row higher. And we just doing a mic, there's like 10 of us. And fucking Bob Dylan with a long coat just walks in, sits in the back, watches about 2 comics and walks out.
Did he laugh once?
I mean, we was too shy, I don't know, but it was so
Like, don't look at him. Don't look at him.
because people started going, because first it was like, oh, this dude's gonna shoot up the place. And then the more everybody starts looking, you're like, somebody goes,
What Bob Dylan?
it's Bob Dylan. We're like, and you saw one by one, though, everybody get word who was sitting behind us. But yeah, I started going to like, I just started jumping on whatever the times looked, wherever it looked close enough. I would go to Jersey a lot
Okay.
to do, because I felt, I don't know, you feel kind of intimidated in
Yeah.
New York, and especially the first couple times someone steals your girl, you suddenly don't want to go back to these mics.
Did you keep bringing women to mics?
No,
Okay, you
never-
learned your lesson. All right.
You never looked at me the same. I'm pretty sure with the things didn't work out because of that dude. But I hear they're married, they're good, they have 2 kids now. He's a nice guy, actually.
You got a nice house in Connecticut. It's great.
So who are
Yeah.
you palling around? Who are you palling around with at this time? Like, is there anyone in particular that you were starting
I
out
didn't
with?
know
that you're-
anybody.
Okay. So there's no one
So,
that you
like,
like
the
kind of
people-
went through it with.
So the people who were like, eventually I learned, so I meet John F O'Donnell in Jersey, very young. And John is who, he had started hosting a mic with Timmy Williams from Why This Kids You Know
Okay.
during Why This Kids, when Why This Kids is on. And they were hosting a mic at the Creek in the Cave, a spot in, that used to be in Queens.
Right.
And it was this shit was, it would only put up 10 people. It was a list. They would pull them out and you'd see, but people would stay.
Right.
So like 10 comics
get
got up,
picked.
but there'd be 30 comics hanging out.
Yeah.
And they would just watch. So it felt like that mic felt like the cool mic. You know what I mean? If you got on that
Get
one,
ready
you were
for that
like,
mic.
okay. So like I remember like Jesse Pop was still around, Eric Andre still around. At that time, Norman had started. I'm pretty close in years with Mark. I think Mike Lawrence has a couple years on me. Saint Germain was a little more established. Sean Patton was already doing shows.
Okay.
But that's kind of the window of who when I first get here, who was rocking mics. Jessica Delfino, Jacqueline Novak, people like that.
That's a great class.
Yeah, it was real. I mean, looking back at it, I saw Anthony Jeselnik run his half hour at this open mic.
Wow.
His Comedy Central half hour. He came in town to shoot it. He knew John, and John would have at the end of the mic, he'd invite a special comic and he would call Comic of Merit. And whoever did it would do like 10 or 15 at the end. But again, just for comics.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're like geeking out. So Jeselnik came and ran the whole half hour and went joke by joke and would like, I don't know. And then he'd go, no, that one's going to work with real people. Don't worry about it. And he would just do that shit. It was great.
Yeah.
So it was pretty fun. Yeah, I mean, that's who the group. But I remember the first time you get up, I finally made it on the list. I get up. I do what I think is my Florida A, which might as well be my New York Z. I do what I think is my A. I bomb. It's bad again. And I'm walking down the stairs at the Creek because the venue used to be upstairs. There was a bar downstairs.
With that
And I'm
glass
walking-
room, was that there?
Yeah. And this is before the glass room, but I'm walking down
Oh.
there, and a comic who had seen me is walking up. And he saw me in the mic. And he goes, "Woof, that was rough."
I love like how your experience is like, because I think you're one of the nicest guys I've met in comedy, but every story is just someone
It's
being just
so
ruthless.
Now I laugh so much, but I remember this comic. I remember his name, and I hated him for years.
I can imagine.
I mean,
I can imagine.
I was salty towards this dude for a long time.
Because like, what's worse, like just straight up being like, or when you know in your heart of hearts it was a bad set and a comic coming up like, hey man, great set.
The best is when you'll get someone go, "Oh man, it seemed like you had fun up there."
You're like, which way are you going with that, buddy?
I always like when a comic names the exact joke that bombed. And they're like, hey, that one really worked well. And you're like, nah, thank you. The guy was up. I heard it.
That's the only one you remember.
Yeah, right.
Because you walked out immediately. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Right, so you're doing mics. You finally gotten that mic. You're still doing mics. What's like your next step in comedy? I mean, when are you starting to do like shows more regularly, or what kind of happened?
Man, weirdly enough, I think what gives me a first real look was Donald Glover and DC Pearson and Dominic, when they were doing Derek Comedy. So they're like right after this is YouTube starts out. They're the first thing that really goes like picks up steam on YouTube, and they started a weekly, and they would put me up.
Nice.
And at the time I had 8 minutes.
Right.
Like that's all real, and they would just like put me up, and it was a hot show, and they would like let me figure it out and let me have.
And this was at the Creek.
That was at the Creek, and that was a Sunday show that would like just pack out of NYU kids because they love them.
Yeah.
So they started putting me up, and that was the first like, oh, I'm on real shows. So people started seeing like, oh, he can do, if he can do that, I'm sure we'll have him over here. So man, I look back, those guys helped me out so much, and they were like, I'm forever so grateful to those dudes. They were so just genuinely dope people to work with. I do a show once, and I'm hosting a show, and I want to say it's Nick Turner, Mark Norman, Sean Patton, Donald Glover, and Jesse Geller, I think is and I'm hosting this pop-up show that Donald just wanted to do because he was in town.
God, man.
He already he writing already for 30, right? He doing fine. You know what I mean? And I host the show, and my parents happen to be in town. First time they've ever seen me do comedy.
And that's the lineup?
That's the lineup. I get asked to host. They come. The show's like, it's a hot show. And the show ends, and I walk back to my parents, and my dad goes, oh, that black kid gonna be pretty good. That Donald, I think that kid gonna be okay.
You got an eye for talent there, Pop.
But then after show, Donald came and met them, and Donald said some of the nicest things about me to my parents, and that kind of like,
oh, that's nice.
It lowered the stress level for them.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if he intentionally did it or not, but it was just it was a very cool thing that like.
Well, I mean, that's funny that he did that for you, because you did that for me at Dead Crow. Like that show.
Oh, with your wife's parents?
Yeah, the in-laws came up. Like they were, because that for some weird reason, that was the week that they were hitting me with can you make this a career? Like, what does the money look like? And they had talked to you, and like so many worries just.
Oh, that's dope. I really fucked that one up. I just could go back and be like, get her out now. Get her out now.
Yeah, no, I don't get that when my parents come to visit. Everyone's just all on board with they're like, he's still
Oh, they love your family loves it.
Well, they did. Last time you saw them, they did.
He He out
nine months in their 9 months of living in my childhood bedroom for they were like
Slowing it down a bit.
they were like, you know what, maybe you should stop. Like hearing me yelling at Zoom shows
pamphlets on the end table. Yeah. It's never too late to go back.
You know, you can try this out. Yeah, I'll be a priest.
Have you thought about nursing school? That's what my mom's always go to. Have you thought about nursing school?
I mean, they do pay well.
Yeah.
It's a great job.
Yeah.
My mom would.
Got to you too, bro?
My mom's go-to would be the post office.
Ah, okay.
She goes,
right.
I mean, you could do it from the office. You don't even have to go anywhere.
She's got it all figured out.
Yeah.
Got it all figured out.
They would send me applications and be like, I mean, they start at 60. 60 is a good number for anybody. You start at 60K a year, that's real nice. Benefits?
Oh, my mom always be like, how are their benefits?
Yeah.
Just because of my background in TV production, for the couple years I worked in TV production, like I'll just get like, because I'm at a point now where there's certain friends that I have from college that like they've won like their, not just like an Emmy, but they've won like their 4th Emmy, you know?
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff. And my parents was like, so why don't you just go back and do that? I'm like, well, there's a 8-year gap on the resume. It's going to be a little hard to just jump straight to the executive producer role of The Voice.
Man, that's how I feel about now going like, oh, this has to work out.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, I mean, this resume looked like I've been in jail. It looks like I've been in prison for a decade to go. You ain't done nothing.
Yeah.
Not one real thing that you can put on this paper.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like the last time, because I went to Emerson College. And so the last time I took a math class, I was 18 years old and I was in high school. So like, I really don't have a lot of skills besides just yelling into a microphone.
Man, get in it
about
Lowe's.
my ex-girlfriend, you know.
Like, I really right now. You'll be a manager in a couple months.
It's I really think it's George Costanza's fault. I think that's a Seinfeld issue. I think they gave us an expectation that you could just live through life and not do anything.
Yeah.
And we were like, I mean, it worked out for them. It gotta work out for me.
Same. Like I always think that I always have that in the back of my head because of TV and movies. They're like when you're at your lowest, like you just got that email saying no that you really didn't want it to say no.
Yeah.
And then you're like, but then I'm gonna walk outside and someone's gonna chase me down and be like, it was a mistake. We didn't mean it, you know? Like I always got that in the back of my head, and I blame TV and movies because you're like, where's my Hail Mary that works at the end, you know?
I had a callback that I didn't think I got and went and got drunk and then find out I got. It was a cattle call. It was an open call for like when NBC used to call it Stand Up for Diversity.
Oh, yeah.
And I drive with the Lucas Bros to Chicago. And we got to do a 1-minute cattle call, open, like wait in line, 6 a.m. And I mean, and this is Chicago comics where they're intense in the line. Me and the Lucas Bros are both like, man, we can't get roasted in this line right now. I mean, we don't have it in us. We don't. So we all audition. For a minute, you go, I think I did fine. I got laughs. Lucas Bros, their name's on the list. The list comes out. They're on. Only like 6 or 7 names are on it. And my name's not on it, but there's a Mark Ruffalo on the list. At the time, I don't even know who Mark Ruffalo is. Everybody's like, that's weird, Mark Ruffalo. I was like, I don't know, fuck Mark. I don't know who Mark is.
All I know he's on the list.
He sucks. So now I have to wait because the bros have their callback. So I just go to a bar, just like sad drinking. Just like, you drove to Chicago, all this for 1 minute, you suck. And you having that discussion. And I get a call from on the cell phone going, hey, this is Kendra over at NBC. So we fucked up. Somebody on the table was like, oh, that guy reminds me of Mark Ruffalo. And then they put Mark Ruffalo on the list. That's supposed to be you. Can you come do this?
How long have you been at this bar sad drinking?
I'm a couple hours.
Oh,
Because I think they put like the list ended at, let's say, like 1 p.m. and then callback started at like 3:30. So I just leave immediately. Going like I'll be. Hey
let's
guys,
tie one on real quick.
yeah, do you? I'll meet you up later. I can't right now. So I show up to do like a 4 o'clock. They put me in the finals out of guilt. I think they moved me on to the showcase just out of like, we for this shit.
Like we ruined this.
A great drunk Mark Ruffalo impression. Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
That's insane, man.
How do you like feel about Mark Ruffalo now? I mean, is it
love him? What a talent! Oh my god, that guy put him in more serious shit.
Good, because he's our number one.
I think it's a bio.
Yeah, he's our number one listener. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't know where the Mark Ruffalo story was going, but he's our biggest, huge My Funny Friends fan.
Is the only one on our Patreon?
Yeah. Just Mark Ruffalo.
Just Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, cool. All right, so where are we at in the timeline of
we can speed up, but I don't know. A couple years later, I end up getting NBC. I do get NBC finals.
Did you have to go back to Chicago for this?
No, I get it out of New York actually.
Okay.
But I auditioned out of Atlanta. This was the third time making the finals, making the showcase, like your regionals.
Yeah.
okay.
So like at this point, I was like,
how's it work because I don't actually really even know how the whole breakdown works.
So they used to, I mean, it's been a few years, but they used to do, so there'd be a cattle call, there'd be open cast, and first 160 is what they would cap, and you do a minute.
Okay.
That gets a call back later in the afternoon to do 2, maybe 3 minutes. From there, then they shrink that list down to like 10, and those 10 go do the actual showcase, the regional showcase in that town. So like, if you auditioned at Broadway Saturday morning, you did the callback Saturday afternoon, Sunday night there was an actual show at Broadway or at Gotham or the Cellar, wherever it was.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you do 5 there and they tape it. There's judging there, but they also take it back to execs and go, this is who we saw, what do we, and then they invite you to LA. And LA is like the final.
And is the end game here hoping to get like a developmental deal?
The winner gets, you get a NBC 1-year deal. You get $25K, I believe, in cash, and then now I think they guarantee you at least like 2 appearances on NBC projects.
Okay,
cool.
I just want okay. I
Yeah,
want to be on Law and Order SVU.
Yeah. I mean, I feel.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Does it mean like a late night spot, or does it mean like
No,
like
it
just
could be,
you walk in, SVU?
It could be any, but also it does like, so one of the judges at the time, he was booking Chelsea lately.
Okay.
And but now he's booking an NBC late night show.
Gotcha.
So like people who have come through it eventually, like he does know you already, so it's a little easier than to work into that space.
Gotcha.
Right.
And it looks good for them anyway.
Yeah.
It's just an NBC thing being like, oh, somebody who came through the program. Also, look, they didn't win, but they're on this. And they're like, so it's just a good look for NBC. But yeah, so that's kind of how it works out. I do NBC in LA. I think what I do, I felt good with what I did. I don't end up winning that year. It was a real shocker to a lot of us. This was a 2 seed, really got an upset. I changed my set last minute.
No.
And yeah.
We all know how that works out.
I love how you get that in your head and you're going, don't do it. And you get on stage and you just
like,
it just comes out.
All this shit. Yeah. And it did, like, it worked well, but it wasn't what they wanted.
Right.
They wanted like a jokey set, a punchy set. And it was like, here's this 8-minute story, bitches. I go at the time. I remember because one of the judges was helping me with. They'll work with you on the set because they want to make sure everybody does well.
Right.
So we had worked on this set. I do the set I choose. I walk out to the Improv in LA to the bar, and he comes out of the showroom, and I'm smiling. I was like, "That's pretty good, right?" He goes, "What'd you do?"
You didn't stick to the gameplay.
And I was like, "Come on, that got laughs." He goes, "Yeah, I got laughs, but what'd you do?"
You just throw it out the window completely.
But that helps me get an agent. That helps me. I get reps off of it. I start getting those meetings. You start getting auditions. It's a nice look. It kind of deadline. It's a deadline joint, so it looks. You know what I mean? It's just a good look. Yeah. Conan happens maybe a year later.
Okay. I think that's when I met you. Was right after Conan.
I forget whenever that was, but yeah, I think it happens like a year later. Okay. Conan, who knew? That was one that you're like, I didn't think it was gonna happen anymore. It goes back and forth so much that you're like, I was like, I think this dude, he just being polite. I don't think he's just not good at saying no, but he's not gonna say yes.
Gonna be a maybe forever.
So I'm in Kansas City doing a weekend, and we're in the car driving. The manager's driving us to the club, and I get a text from the booker, Conan, and he goes, "Hey man, are you in LA by chance?" And I go, "No, I'm in Kansas City, but I'm gonna fly to LA Monday just for 2 days for my friend's birthday." Mm-hmm. I was going just to hang out for Tone's birthday. That was the only dumb reason. You're like, I got $500 to waste. Fuck it, let's go. And I go, I'm gonna get there Monday. I'm leaving Wednesday. And he goes, and it's been so long. He goes, hey, can you do the set? And I thought he meant, can you run it again? Like he wanted to see it again.
Yeah.
And I go, sure, man. Do you want me to find the place or do you have a place? And he goes, yeah, at Warner Brothers. And I go, oh man, you mean like the thing? Yeah.
This is the call.
So this is through text. And he goes, all right, let me call you in a little bit. We'll finalize it. I get on stage. I'm in the car. I go, hey man, I think I just booked Conan, but I'm not really sure yet.
It's not like a definite.
Nobody really said any, but I get on stage, so I miss his call. I call back, he don't pick up.
Oh my God.
Now Friday comes, I text him, he's like, he don't hit me back.
Oh my God.
Saturday he texts and goes, hey man, I'm been busy, whatever. I'll call you tomorrow.
Oh my God.
Still not going. I'll call you tomorrow. As in, he goes, I'll call you tomorrow. It's Sunday. He finally calls. I walk out to work from where we were, and he goes, hey man, how's the set going? And I go, I've been doing it in Kansas City all weekend just in case. And I go, I'd like to change a joke though. There's something new I like. And he, over the phone, he goes, what is it? I'll tell him the joke. And he goes, huh, yeah, that's funny. Okay, put it in.
Oh my God.
And it's and he goes, you want to run it before? And I was like, man, I've been running it all weekend. He goes, all right, I'll see you at Tone's party. And then Tuesday we tape. Have fun. Hey, dude, he shows up to the party, buys me one drink, we cheers, he takes it, he goes, see you tomorrow, you're gonna do great, don't get too fucked up, have a good night.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's amazing. Oh my God. But those 4 days where you're just like calling, texting,
and I'm trying to run a set if I finally started have to tell people at the show. Before I was like, hey guys, I'm doing Conan on I think Tuesday. So if y'all could, these next 5 are gonna feel weird.
They're not gonna.
It was bombing because it was fucking because you running it like a TV set,
right?
And I'm trying to run it at the beginning because I don't want like the momentum of the show to have me believe it's funnier than it is.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have to run it cold. So I finally had to like start to like my Saturday late show. I was like, hey guys, y'all need to stop fucking with me. This is what's happening right now. I need y'all to start laughing because I'm gonna fucking shit my pants, dude.
They're like inner monologues just coming out on stage. The audience is like,
I was like,
they're like, is he
schizophrenic?
like, what? Oh, that's amazing. That's so exciting.
Yeah, that was a blur. So that happens. That one does fine. Do okay. It's just something nice to put on the flyer.
Right. When's it air? Do they air it like almost immediately, or do they sit on it for a while?
No, that night.
Oh wow.
We do it. You tape that afternoon, and it was the.
Did you go hang out and watch it?
You sort of. I didn't love the set.
Okay.
I didn't know how to feel about it.
I got you.
Right. You know what I mean? It was just like, and the first one, it felt so like such a blur.
Right.
And it felt like everything happened so fast, and then I was just being grateful to have the opportunity, but then like it just wasn't the mindset I had, and then like I should have let stuff go, and I kept the joke too long. You know what I mean? It was just like little tweaks.
I got you.
Yeah, right.
And you can go back and do the play-by-play, like circle it, like this is where I dropped the ball.
And you're like, right there, that's it. Stop it right there. That's what should have.
Yeah.
So, and then,
it's so interesting.
and you don't really meet Conan, or at least I didn't really. He's like pre-show, he's doing work. He's doing shit.
Right.
So the only time I meet him is right after when I'm saying goodnight. So I'll finish the set, and Conan, he walks over and he goes, well, that was interesting. And I go, oh, fuck.
What? Why does everyone do this to you?
He goes, that was interesting. And I go, yeah. But we still smiling because the camera's still rolling.
Right.
So I'm trying not to break down in tears immediately, dude, on TV. And thankfully, the second guest that night was Chris Gethard.
Oh, cool.
Who I know a little bit from New York, just being around. Yeah. And Chris comes over and he gives me a hug, and he goes, "Oh man, that was great." He gives me a big hug, and then Conan's there, and Conan goes, "Oh, you didn't hug me." And then we have like a fun, then it's a like.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jesus Christ. He didn't hate me.
Yeah.
It was like that moment.
Thing to say.
Yeah.
Imagine though if it just turns. It's just like, man, fuck you, Conan. And
I just straight punch him in the gut.
Because he leaned in, he's like, "Is your girl in the green room?"
Yeah.
So
wow, that's amazing. What and do you remember what year that was? Was that around like 2016, 2015, or is this my timeline off?
I really don't remember, man. I want to. What are we in? 22. I want to say 18.
Yeah, I was thinking like 17, 18.
17, 18. I feel, but I don't. Yeah, I was trying to see if there was a date on that.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Tracy Ellis Ross was the first guest that day, and I think she tried to hit on me. I think there was a window there. I think if I would have got one applause break, I could have been Mr. Ross.
You wouldn't be here right now.
I don't care how the set went.
There's no way I'd be doing this podcast. I would have my spinoff.
Yeah, I think after
a silk robe somewhere in your third house right now.
So I think I met you right after you did that spot because Alex Grubard and I had just started doing Mayor Battle Axe at Rockaway Brewing Company, and that show eventually got good. But I think you did one. I think
it definitely wasn't good when I did it.
No. It was like you got because I never met you before, so and I'm just getting back into comedy around this time, so I was just like starstruck, And I remember I think we had max 4 people in the back of this brewery.
This was the big one with the tanks and stuff.
The tanks. We're still in the
Yeah.
tank room. Yeah.
I
And it's like,
remember.
there's like the dishwasher going off every couple of minutes. There's like a hiss coming from one of the tanks. And I remember just be like, oh, this is all right. This is
Yeah.
producing comedy.
This
But I
is
remember
fun.
you were so nice. And I remember just talking to you and picking your brain about it afterwards. And I thought like I wasn't even going to get to talk to you because that's the way I was like looking at comedy at that time where I was like, but you were, but then at the same time, it's like you were there. You know what I mean? Like you were still there. You did your
How quickly
set.
the star falls. Quickly.
Come to a Will Abel's Alex Grubard show. We'll bring you back down to earth.
Well, I mean, if you wanna feel like a star, we can get that drunk girl from Wilmington to follow us around from bar to bar again.
Oh man,
We could not shake her.
Man, no, I love Wilmington. Here's a fun. Sean maybe had my favorite Wilmington moment that I've been a part of. Sean Patton.
Yeah.
The
Wilmington loves all these guys.
early on, he takes me down, and we go to this bar. Little shithole bar that has pool tables and it's like down an alley. We always end up going.
Blue Post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something happens where the dudes playing pool rub Sean the wrong way.
Oh no.
And Sean's we've had some drinks and he just something annoyed him. And out of nowhere, Sean just walks away and then he comes back. He goes, "Hey man, we gotta go." I go, "Where you go?" "We gotta go now." I go, "All right." We get about a block away. He pulls the 8-ball out of his pocket, the actual 8-ball from the pool table, because they would keep your ID when you rented out the balls. So he goes, "Fuck them. They can't get his ID back." And we just walk away with this 8-ball.
I love the pettiness level in that. The pettiness level.
So good, dude. It was
Richard Petty.
just so well done.
Oh, and that's I love what the because that just screams something Sean Patton.
It's just so it was just
like I didn't punch him in the face, bro. Mess his night.
But I fucked that dude's night up. I ruined that guy's night.
Because I can see the argument now, but like, what do you mean you can't get my ID back?
Yeah.
Who took where's the ball? Because you know
it's like stealing the remote at a party with like, you know, it's like
so good, man.
Tiniest things.
Because there's so many places to look in Blue Post too. So you know they were looking under like
it wasn't
game
even
machine.
in the building. He was already in bed. He was already in bed.
Sleeping peacefully.
Do you think he kept the 8-ball and it's like sitting on a shelf somewhere?
It's in
like
it's
I
proud,
hope he has it.
it's like a proud moment. Yeah.
I hope he does. That's the only trophy he got. That 8-ball on top of a counter.
Cool. So you do Conan, and then what's next for you? Obviously, Mayor Battle Axe was another high point.
That really bumped me up. I think I picked up 4 followers that day.
Yep, I was one of them.
HBO comes up somewhere a couple years after. Somewhere in between there, I lose representation.
Okay.
So I end up.
Any particular reason, or just you don't want?
Yeah, they stink. No.
Okay.
It's been the general consensus.
It's a common theme that comes up. On the
I think what happened, and this is just me, I really don't know. I think what happened was they thought I was going to win NBC.
Oh, okay.
They thought I was going to win that year. So when you win, suddenly your calendar just filled up without them really having to do anything.
Right.
Because you go on the college tour, you do the NACA, you do like,
oh, okay,
you get this spot. So it's like they can just kind of place you. And then when I didn't win, they didn't know.
They didn't want to do their job.
They didn't know they didn't know. Yeah, they hadn't planned out what the job was. So like,
okay, it
got to the point where at some point I'm on the phone with all of them. And I'm like, hey man, can we figure out what's happening next year? What are we, as a group, what are we working towards? What are we doing? And one of the agents goes, so you still gonna keep touring with Tone, right? And I go, yeah, man, but that ain't the job.
Right.
Yeah, you can't hinge your
Like,
entire year off of someone else's
manager.
schedule.
What's happening, dude? So it was like, we had a real weird thing. And then like the person who they put me with was someone I didn't want to be with. So now so it's like she ends up leaving. She doesn't say anything. I'll find out like through a fucking through another comic who
Not even
calls
a
me, who goes,
message.
"Hey man, are you going with this person who just left the agency?" And I go, "Oh, cool. I didn't even know
Like,
Yeah.
I guess
they
not.
left."
'Cause-
So like, I just go, "No, we good. Don't worry about it." And then like 3 weeks later, one of the agents calls me to be like, "Hey, I'm sorry how things." I go, I don't got time to talk to you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm over this shit. I'm already
Yeah.
looking at new.
I've
pussy.
already moved on.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of, there's a hiccup, and there's a weird. It put me in a weird place for a while, because you start questioning again.
Right. Right.
You start questioning of just being like, "Oh fuck, what am I doing? Was that it? Was
Yeah.
that the one shot you're really gonna get a look at, and then it didn't go the way it's supposed to, and you're like, fuck, am I just gonna be middling my whole life?" You know what I mean? Shit
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Of course.
And then your mom slides you the post office.
And then you're like, "Oh man, they are hiring."
Yeah.
I mean, they get weekends off, overtime. Yeah, this is terrible. They so it just kind of lost for a bit, and then I end up selling a show to FX.
cool.
Me and Mike Brown, who's very funny. Check
Yeah.
him
Yeah.
out, please.
Yeah. Love Mike.
Great. We end up selling a show to FX, and that kind of gives me
Needed that boost.
a little pick me up.
Yeah.
And we end up doing it without reps.
Oh, that's
great.
awesome.
I didn't tell I knew that this was coming, the deal was coming,
Yeah.
and I didn't tell my agent or manager at the time.
That's fantastic.
I could feel the shit was already. I was like, "Nah, y'all not gonna eat off this.
Y'all aren't in on
Fuck
this.
yourself."
Yeah.
You
So
did not do any work
We
on
kept
this.
it quiet, man. I found my homegirls at the time boyfriend did some lawyering. I was like, "Hey man, you want to take a look over this? I'll give you 10% of this shit. Just make these
Yeah.
numbers match up."
Yeah.
It's like a Kardashian. He's like a part-time lawyer.
Yeah. He was asking me, he's like, "So how do you do this?" I was like, "God damn it, dude.
You know what? Let me get that back.
Yeah.
So that helps out. And then the HBO set happens to come through around that same window of time.
Okay.
So it kind of like,
Pick him back up.
yeah, it kind of picks up, and it gives me like this was a real, you know what I mean? It was like, oh, this was a real year of earning comedy money.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was just like, yeah, we can do this.
Okay.
We can figure.
Yeah.
I stopped. I'm not working anymore. I'm not working my day job anymore.
Yeah.
So that's like nice. And those little stuff like that just kept helping
Yeah.
raise
Getting
it.
the positive
Keep it in the
mentality
game.
and
Yeah,
feeling good
and
about
then,
yourself.
like,
Yeah.
I end up getting new reps, working with the people I'm working with now, and much better. But also it was like I needed that first one to go south to understand how I want to work with people.
Yeah.
There was
sense.
just too much naiveness on my end,
I got you.
Right.
and too much being like, "Oh, please love me."
Yeah.
You know
Like,
what I
how
mean? Like,
Yeah.
Right. And how would you know otherwise unless you had that?
yeah,
experience?
unless you can, and even when people tell you about, like, even when you talk with people, they'll give you advice, but at the time it doesn't hit the way looking back now it hits.
Right. Exactly.
Like hearing people, I remember hearing people go, "Oh, realize when you get reps, that's when you have to start working, because now you have somebody you feel you gotta
Like get
keep
their
busy.
approval and get
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to be on stuff. I need to get so like, and you just don't really get that at the time because you're just grateful to have someone.
Right.
Yeah, and then I mean, little by little, stuff keeps pecking away, and you never know. And then it dried down for a bit, and then the pandemic was real help. I don't know. The word helpful feels weird, but like I needed it.
Refreshing.
I needed, dude. I was in a bad place.
Oh, so it was good for like taking a break, you mean?
For like visit, like how you don't know, when you're like, you don't know you tired because you always tired.
Right.
Yeah.
So you forget what normal is supposed to feel like.
Right.
Yeah,
Because this is
absolutely.
just your life. You know,
Yeah, so I
airport
was
to
just
airport,
like,
show to
I
show.
was depressed. I was writing angry. I wasn't
Oh, yeah,
having
yeah,
fun
I
on
got-
stage, and like, but I didn't know why. I just
Right.
knew, I was like, this is just what's coming. to me, but
Right.
I didn't know how to really deal with it yet.
I got you.
And man, I went back home to Puerto Rico for a couple months in 2020.
Yeah.
I woke up one day and it was just like, oh man, I'm standing straighter.
Yeah.
I'm writing silly jokes about my grandma now. I'm enjoying, you know what I mean? It just
Yeah,
felt
that recharge.
yeah, it really, dude. I was just in a tough place. So coming out of it, I felt great. Tonight show came up.
Right.
Thankfully, that went better than the first experience.
Yeah.
The album came out.
No one talked trash to you after your set. Like
The Fallon comes up and just goes, woof.
I heard Conan called.
He gave me the heads up.
He said, "This one stretch, worthy."
But I totally understand what you mean about taking that break and like feeling like you can write silly again and goofy and like, because I got into this spot like kind of towards the end of 2020 where like it, like I look back, so I have this notebook and I like will look at it every once in a while and I'm like, this is the angriest version of me that's ever existed. And then luckily Nashville over the last year and change, I've like, even the same, like I feel silly when I'm writing. I'm enjoying what I'm writing. I'm enjoying doing it on stage, and it's fun. It's just so much. It's like, hey, I'm happy to have fun again. You know, how did Fallon come about? Just same route.
Another thing that it felt like it was in the works forever. He'd seen me over the years, and then we started working on a set once, and then the window we missed it, so it doesn't happen. I think I do a showcase for him, a live showcase for him. I want to say it was like November 2019.
Okay.
Around there, October, November. I have everybody's there. Except Fallon, but all the producers, all the decision people are at this showcase.
Right. It's
a hot room. I have a set. I have one of those where you go, I put my dick in everybody right now. Like, one of those where you're just like, I don't know how to explain it, but this shit was just.
You feel bulletproof.
What are you gonna do? You can't not give me this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I have one of those. Then they give it to another comic. Gets it first, who was on that same showcase with me. Who he's hilarious. He did great. It wasn't like, but he gets it, and I don't know if this is true. Nobody's ever told me this. This is just what I think. That comic accidentally cursed on the show.
On the taping or on the showcase?
On the taping.
Wow, interesting.
Slips out, curses. My feeling is they put everybody on hold after that. Anybody new.
Okay.
So they start older, like comics
their first time doing it?
Or the comics who already done it are the ones they're doing. The show,
because now they're scared about.
Now I think so, and this is my opinion. This is not. He's never said anything to me, but that's how I feel. So I felt everybody on that list. We got on pause. We got paused, and then by April, the pandemic hit.
Right.
So really, it was just like 3 months there where.
Yeah.
So pandemic hit.
Anyway.
Yeah, it was a tight window anyway. Exactly. Pandemic hits, everything stops. We start coming out on the other side of 2021, I guess, at some point.
What are years now?
Yeah, he goes. That's wild. It feels like a blackout.
It does.
Where you go.
I woke up in 2022. Yeah, it was.
Well, I've already started misremembering dates when they're like the pandemic started. I'm like, 2019. They're like, no, 2020. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
My Facebook memories, like when it comes like anything from like even now for stuff for 2021, I was like, wait, that was a year ago already. I was like, that could have been last week.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like 2021 just flew by.
Yeah.
So I'm sure this kind of felt like that time frame felt even weirder and more distorted, you know?
Yeah. So you're like, so we come back out of it. I want to say somewhere January 21. I think we start talking again. And he goes, so what's your new 5? And then at the time, the part of me was like, motherfucker, the 05 worked.
Yeah,
The
What's wrong with
05,
that
I
fuck?
gotta do a new 5. We in a pandemic. What do you think my new 5 is? What do you think it's about?
I've been running
You
the
heard about
same
masks?
5, man.
Yeah, that 5's still good, baby. Give that 5 a little love. But so we start working on a new 5 again. And now I'm trying to like, so I'm seeing what I got that's new, but that it can't be, it's obviously pandemic, but it can't be mentioned about pandemic. It's
I'm sure there's so many more rules to it.
of course, yeah. So like you're going through it.
You single-handedly started January 6th by just like one triggering word on your late night set.
I'm in Austin doing, after a great weekend of like this shit. This is what I'm in Austin, and it's me and Tone.
Are you at the New Creek?
No, at this
Okay.
point we were doing Vulcan,
Okay.
Vulcan Gas Co. But at the Creek that weekend was Eric Griffin,
Oh, cool.
and then or Friday and Saturday was Amy Miller.
Okay.
It was amazing. Sunday, Eric Griffin was coming to town he was shooting a movie, so he was doing a one-nighter. And then by chance, Conan is driving through town.
Oh, cool.
He's not even doing comedy. He driving
Hanging
through and
Hey.
dude, so we have our shows, and then Sunday we stay, Tone and I stay an extra day just to kick it.
Yeah.
And Conan gets in town. He comes and meets us for drinks. So we drinking. Eric Griffin's doing the show, and Amy Miller's with us. She's supposed to fly out Sunday night. We having drinks.
I like how you say he's supposed to.
Yeah, because we having drinks, and Eric Griffin texts me and he goes, "Hey man, Rebecca didn't book an opener for the show tonight. Are you in town still? Do you want to open it?" And I was like, "Sure, but," and I send a picture of who I'm with, and I go, "I mean, how about we all?"
How about
So I text Rebecca and I go, "Hey, would you care, instead of me featuring, 3 of us just do 10 or 15?"
Yeah.
And then let Eric, and then I asked Eric like, "Sure, whatever." Conan says yes. Tone finally goes, "All right, I'll go up." Now it's a thing.
Like, all right.
And Amy's there, and Amy just like, "Oh man, I gotta leave." And we go, "Bitch, change that flight." And she goes, "Fellas, it costs $40 and change it." I was like, "We changing this fucking flight, dude."
Yeah.
So Amy
Like, we'll
ends up
pass the hat around.
Amy ends up hosting. So the show becomes Amy, me, Tone, Conan. And then Eric Griffin does 45 on a Sunday, where you're like, "This is
God.
Can you
the
imagine
most
buying a ticket to that and not
the tickets
knowing
were
what
15
happened?
bucks and
Oh.
nobody knew." So
Amazing.
we have a
Jesus.
fucking great night.
I can imagine.
That had to be like a we're back feeling.
It felt like a
More than
festival. It was like
Yeah.
that energy of
Yeah.
just like everybody here good. So we're not
Yeah.
worried that now we just having fun.
Yeah.
But but eventually, like after the first show, the second show, everybody kicked it into gear again, because it was like the first show, Amy did well, then I had a good set, and then Todd was like, "Well, I can't not do well," so he did, and then Conan, and now Eric really working on a Sunday. Really
Like, I
putting
did
in
not
work
plan
now.
on putting in this work.
But it was a fucking great night. So we hang out, crash. Next morning, me and Amy are going to the airport, and same sort of thing. I got a text from the booker, and he goes, "Hey man, do you like Ozuna, who's a reggaeton artist?"
Oh, okay.
And I'm thinking again, just because he feels bad, because there were a couple dates where they tried to get me on, and it just music took him over. Something more important came up.
Yeah.
So I thought he was gonna give me tickets to a concert, to like an NBC thing. So I'm fucking around. I go, I mean, he know Bad Bunny, but he fine. And then he writes back, "All right, cool. So it's gonna be you, Ozuna, and John Hamm next Thursday or next Tuesday, whatever it is. He's the second guest. You'll be the comic."
I love just the casualness.
It was
of
it was weird. And they probably love that aspect of it.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's the kick they get.
Yeah,
You know?
like they're sitting around a table and they're like, "Hey, you guys want to see me mess with Rojo?"
Watch this. Yeah.
Hold on, I'll put it up on the computer. Hold on.
Actually, someone take this. Yeah, someone take this
You just see
webcam,
the
run down to the
bubbles
bar
keep
where he's at,
The bubbles
film
keep
him up.
popping in and out.
Yeah, just little bubbles, and then goes away, pops up, goes away.
you rewritten okay 10 times.
Yeah.
You're like, is that too aggressive? Should I be less casual?
I should have
Is
put
it okay or
exclamation
OKAY? Like, which one am I doing?
Got to put the exclamation point so people don't think you're not happy about it.
Yeah. So that's how I kind of. He was like, next week, this is when it is. You
Awesome.
coming? Type shit.
Yeah, you gonna be there? What's up?
You're gonna be there with us, but it was. I end up doing the first show that they're 100% back.
Oh,
Audience is 100% back.
Yeah,
Cool.
That's awesome.
So like Joyelle had done it right before me, and I think she was at 50, and Becky Owen was at 50 still.
Okay, that's
So I
dope. Got the full audience back.
Yeah, I got the full audience. Because of COVID though, they're not letting you walk around.
I got
Right.
You kind of have like your area.
The building. Yeah, you stay in your green room.
I got you.
But I kept going to the bathroom, hoping to run in a John
I'm gonna see this
just by chance to be like, oh man, you pee, I pee. That's crazy. We should kick
bladders, right?
I've run the John Hamm a couple times in my life, but the very first time I was interning at Jimmy Kimmel, so I'm still in college and I'm out in LA.
Okay.
And this is when Mad Men is the biggest show in the world. And I'm standing at the bar and I was already drinking gin and tonics. But the guy next to me is just this like dude in cargo shorts. And I look up and it's John Hamm. And whatever he ordered,
John Hamm wears cargo shorts.
cargo shorts. And he was hanging out with Kenneth the Page from 30 Rock. It was
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
I love knowing they're friends.
But he goes, yeah, he's like, could I get a gin and tonic? And I was like, I too shall have a gin and tonic. You know, I was like, whatever. He could have said anything. He was like, can I just have like a glass of water? I would like, also water. I'm a water guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude,
Like
that guy glows, man. That guy glows when you're around him. You're just like,
oh man,
hey.
I saw we were that day. I was like, that's why this dude a star.
Yeah.
He got on set and he turned it on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he was just the most charming, likable, funny dude in the world. And you're like, that's different.
I knew he had that ability when I was watching the Apple commercial he's in. And I actually felt sorry for him.
Because he wasn't
in the show. Yeah. Like his environment, his house keeps getting better. And I'm like, man, they better book him.
He needs. I love John Hamm.
Yeah. This is officially a John Hamm podcast. Delete everything else leading up to this, Rojo. We're gonna have you back next week. We'll keep talking about John Hamm.
Welcome to the John Hamm appreciation.
He know Mark Ruffalo, but I do like him.
That's
man. Well, how cool was the HBO thing? Because it was like it highlighted Latin artists, right?
Yeah, and it's if you're on HBO Max, go search, type my name in, it'll pop up. I don't get paid for it, but just watch it. Yeah. It was cool because everybody who I did my episode with, I knew.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
It was Christian Ramirez, who I knew coming up in New York, Eric Rivera, who I've known from the scene, and then Vanessa Gonzalez, who
that's awesome.
I think she's one of the funniest people in the country, man.
Yeah.
I think she's so dope. So, but we all knew each other well. So it was like the day of the taping, that night, we're all in each other's green rooms. Like everybody's having fun. Me and Eric yelling from side to side. Like it didn't feel like a tight taping.
Yeah. The pressure was kind of off.
Yeah. So everybody was just like,
and you're not by yourself. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So that was very enjoyable. Yeah. So overall, it was dope to do it with them.
And where did y'all shoot that at?
At a theater in Glendale.
Okay.
I forget the name of it. Alex Ray Theater, maybe something like that. Okay. But yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was cool. It's there's always little stuff you wish that tinkered, but overall it was solid. It was a cool thing to do, and it's a nice look.
Yeah.
Sure.
The showing range,
Yeah, showing I could do basic cable and premium.
Look at that.
Showing I got all the
Look
tiers.
at that.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, cool.
Yeah, man. So like that kind of happened. Fallon, it was last year now, Jesus. And now we're trying to figure out what's the next one.
I was about to say, you got anything you want to plug or coming up or anything you're excited
Sure.
about?
I mean, really, please. My album's still streaming. Listen to it. I don't. It's called Words. I don't even care if you listen to it. Hit play and walk the fuck out. I swear I don't care. The jokes are done. I'm never going to do them again.
Yeah.
Listen to it if you want, don't. But just hit play. Put it in your faves. That stream money real.
Yeah. I hear you, man.
Yeah, and then I don't know. Check out the website Rojo Perez, and it's Rojo Perez on all the socials. And the only thing I got coming up is Chicago next week
Nice.
with Tone, and I'm gonna be out this summer. And
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, thank you so much for doing this.
Nah,
It's
definitely,
just
guys.
good to see you, man. It's been
It's great to
long.
see you. Thank you. Dallas Phoenix. It's a 5-over. Are we taking the spread or no?
Oh my God.
Real quick, give one for the people before we leave, because we'll see if you were right or not.
I think you got to take it.
You think Phoenix will cover or Dallas?
I think Dallas will cover.
Dallas will cover, lose by less than 5.
Yeah, because they're Dallas in 5, right?
Okay, I'm gonna put the house on it.
Just because I'm a
Luka.
Luka fan.
I'm betting everything on your word.
Oh my God.
Well, I got the guest room, so come hang out if it doesn't pan out.
Thank you guys, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. This was fun.
Yeah, it's good seeing
thank
around.
you, man.
Good seeing you guys.
All right, guys, hit that subscribe button. We will see you next time.
Bye.
On it, friends. My boy